Hello, everyone. This is Kelly with The Well Life, and today I want to talk to you about thinking. What are you thinking? And probably more importantly, how are you thinking? So, I've been reading this book. I am literally on my fourth read. Yeah. And if you don't know about this book, which I'm sure a lot of you do because it's a very popular book, it's actually been out for years. And I think it's been rewritten or, updated a little bit. But oh my gosh, this book has really, really, really helped me. Um, just in my process and my journey of, improvement because I think most of us want to self improve, right? I think we should on a daily basis, at least a little bit, right? The saying is, don't worry about being better than someone else, the person you saw on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Worry about being better than the person you were yesterday. That's the only person you should compete with ever, ever, ever is the person you were yesterday. So I just want to talk real quick on the subject of thinking. Like I said, this book is phenomenal, and I'm going to read a couple of things from it. But you know, first and foremost, when it came to my thinking and my thoughts, when I really realized, like, oh wow, okay, everything that I'm getting in life, the results in my life are a result of my thinking, how I am thinking. So the first thing that I realized that I needed to do was become mindful of my thoughts. So, we don't realize how really programmed we are. Okay, so we do begin the programming the minute we're born, and we get so much programming, and then it's in our subconscious mind. And so we think in ways that we don't really even realize that could possibly be damaging to us, be damaging to our lives, be damaging in the means of progress in life. Like you might say to yourself, I just don't ever see change in my life. It's always the same, or I always get the same results, or, things just always end up being the same for me. That is more than likely a product of your thoughts. So let me just read a couple of things that from this book, but first tell you that first and foremost the things that I did, and that was become mindful of my thoughts. Okay, so mainly when I thought, yeah, I'm not feeling really good, or that maybe I'm feeling anxious, or I feel a little bit down, or I don't feel very, say, successful or productive or whatever, then I would say, well, what is it that I'm thinking? What is it that I'm thinking? How am I thinking? So I became mindful of my thoughts. And slowly but surely, because this is something you really, really, really have to work on a daily basis, I began to train myself to change my thoughts. So if the thought did not seem productive, or I felt like it moved me forward in my life, then I changed it. I changed that thought. And you talk about having to do that repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again. I did. The next thing that I did was I began to give gratitude, a lot of gratitude. And so my routine just became that I would give gratitude. Say when I woke up, I would just mumble up just to myself, a few things that I'm grateful for. And then I might do the same thing when I go to bed. Now, over the Christmas holidays, I got this little book from my cousin, and so now I write down everything. I'm a journaler, so so of course I was journaling things that I was grateful for, but this is just a little gratitude journal, and I just get to write the very specific things for the day that I'm grateful for, and it'll encourage you to not repeat the same things, right? Over and over and over. So I'm kind of liking that because that challenges me because, yeah, I would probably wake up, days and just repeat the same thing. I'm happy for my health because I was very happy for certain things. And of course, there were tons of things that I wasn't thinking about, but I might repeat, I'm happy for my health and I'm happy for my family and I'm happy for my home or, repeat those over. But this has challenged me to just get very specific and write all kinds of different things. But gratitude helped me change my thoughts because gratitude changes your attitude. It really does. And then that kind of changes your mood. So it did end up helping me to get on that trajectory of changing my thoughts. But let me just talk real briefly about this book. And if you have not read it, oh my gosh, I encourage, I encourage, I encourage. Now this one here has the As a Man Thinketh um, story in there, the book on it. But then it also has a book that is called From Poverty to Power. And wow, it's powerful for sure. But so in this book, James Allen, he talks about there's only a few chapters in here. And so the first one is thoughts and character. So, yeah, your thoughts, they create the character, they create kind of who you are, how you act, right? So, you really think about that like, oh, okay, so what I'm thinking, what I'm allowing myself to think, does ultimately produce the character, the person that I am, who I am, how I act and who I become. So he goes in depth on that. And then he has another chapter that says the effect of thought on circumstances. So if you don't believe that your thoughts affect the circumstances in your life, I'm here to tell you that you're wrong because they do. The way you are thinking, what you are thinking, the thoughts that you allow to mull over and over and over in your mind, the thoughts, the way of thinking, which, thoughts become beliefs, right? So all these beliefs that you have stored in your subconscious mind that you may not even realize are there, they affect your circumstances. They absolutely do. So it's important to start really just realizing, really, what is it that I think? How do I think? And then ultimately you will have to look at your beliefs because your thoughts create your beliefs. So it's a deep dive, but man, I so encourage you to do that. The other chapter he has is the effect of thought on your health and your body. So your mind is the master of your body. And you've heard a lot of people talk about that. One guy, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget his name. Oh, he's like the most, like that man. He was a Navy SEAL. Goggins, David Goggins. Woo! Like you talk about someone mind over matter, right? Mind over body. Like that man, when he put it in his mind, that was it. Like he did not let his body tell him, "Oh, you've got to stop. I'm tired," you know, whatever. Mm-mm. No, his mind ruled. His mind was, no, we're going to keep on running. We're going to keep on swimming. We're going to keep on fighting. We're going to keep on climbing. We're going to, whatever. I know a lot of you know the story of David Goggins, but holy moly, if you don't, go check him out and go back to the beginning of his life where oh man, he was extremely overweight and all kinds of things that he suffered in his childhood and all that. But then he became a Navy SEAL and blah blah blah. Anyway, you talk about mind over matter issues right there. That man did it. So effective thought on health and body. You can change your health. You can change your health simply by creating a new thought pattern, creating a new thought pattern. Rethink what you're saying. Do you constantly tell yourself, I'm tired, I'm overweight, I'm lazy, or I could never do that, or I could never work out like that, or I could never get in shape? Or do you? Do you tell yourself that? Do you tell yourself, if you feel a little ache or whatever, do you just dramatize it and just, oh, can't believe it, or, you know, do you do the opposite and be like, no, I'm feeling good. And that's not to not be in touch with reality. I'm not saying, that it's a kind of a fakish type thing, but you don't realize though that if you can train your mind though to believe that, if you do have an ailment, you can heal, or you can overcome it. So the other chapter in here is thought and purpose. Thought and purpose. And I'll read you the first line in that paragraph says, until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. So you've got to be thinking every day with purpose. Not, I know sometimes we want to just relax and chill and not be so, and that's fine. I don't mean to take that away, but the majority of our lives is like, what are we doing the majority of our lives? What are we thinking about? What are we setting our mind to and putting our intentions on? So thought and purpose. Then he has another chapter that is thought factor in achievement. Mhm. So, what are you saying to yourself in order to achieve the things that you want? Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you can? Another one is vision and ideals. So, thoughts, think about things. Do you ever just envision how you might want something? Do you ever dream, right? You think, oh no, that's childish. I shouldn't do that. But you should. Dreaming is I mean, how do we, it's the dreamers that got us, most of the advancements that we've seen in the world, right? Because, I mean, if you think that someone wasn't, laughing, when someone thought, oh, we'll fly in the sky, we'll put a big machine in the air and fly, what, it's all the silly things like that, right? The iPhone, the phone itself, you think somebody dreamed that up first, right? So we have to dream, and we have to allow ourselves to dream. And then the last one that he talks about in the as a man thinketh is serenity. So at times we've got to get calm. We've got to clear the mind. We've got to clear it and settle. And let me see if I can find. I think he had a good serenity in that chapter. He says, calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. So when you calm your mind and slow down, that's when you'll get most of the um, powerful thoughts that could change your life. When you slow down, not when you're engaged in watching TV or engaged in social media or engaged in the news. That's not when, more than likely, a thought changing process or something that could change your life is going to come to you. Like a lot of people tell you, when I'm taking a shower, boom, right? Yeah, because you're relaxed in the shower, right? Yeah, you're kind of chilling out in there, like, wow, feeling kind of good, calming yourself. So that's that. But that's what I wanted to say on thinking, and I encourage you, read that book if you have not. And then there's a video that I stumbled upon years ago too that talks about thinking, and that's a commencement speech from David Foster Wallace. Look that up online, probably on YouTube, and watch that video if you have not. David Foster Wallace, he's doing a commencement speech, and he's talking about thinking. So, hope this helps, guys. Have a wonderful day. This is Kelly with the Well Life, and remember, your lifestyle is a choice. Choose well.